What is up, guys? It is Sterny coming at you with a commentary all about me. Just to introduce myself, my name is. I'm basically gonna start from the bottom. I'm gonna go from till like I was born till now. Okay, so my name is Zach, and I was born December 28th, 1990. And I live in Minnesota. I was born in Anoka Hospital, and I lived at that time and I'll tell you a couple joke stories here. So when I was around the age of 2, I just, as a little kid, just randomly look out the window. Okay, I'd be like watching TV and be like, oh, what's going on outside? I'd be like, oh. And the one time I happened to look, and there was this fat guy who kept jogging all the time. I finally came up with a name for him. I called him Ugly Naked Guy. I'm like, hey mom, look, it's Ugly Naked Guy. And then she'd pull me off the couch and put me in my room and tell me how bad it is to call that guy Ugly Naked Guy and how to respect people. So I just thought it was like a game. So I started saying it all the time. And then I just got to the point where my mom yelled at me. I'm like, oh, scared the shit out of me. So I stopped.
That's another kill.
And then the garbage truck came, and I came up with a name for that, and I called it Ishy Truck Day. Well, then I got it confused with Thunder. Okay, so every time it'd thunder, I'd be like, oh, Mom, it's Ishy Truck Day. And she'd be like, no, Zach, that's thunder. I'd be like, dang it, hang my head and walk away. And it was kind of funny in my opinion now, looking back on it. But then alright, so that was about when I was. Oh, and on a serious note, when I was about 3.5, something like that, I was diagnosed. And diabetes is a disease that shuts down your pancreas, and your pancreas produces a fluid called insulin, and insulin stables your blood sugar, and it helps you grow. Okay, but you need it, but also at the same time you don't need it. It's like and yeah, I got diagnosed with that, and I was devastated for a while for 2 reasons. A, I couldn't do much because I was that young, and B, I didn't know what the hell it was. So I was scared for my life. But then, as I got older, I kind of progressed through it. I ended up not caring for it much. I cared about my body, my blood sugar, and make adjustments. But the part that hit me the most was me not being able to spend the night at 2 reasons. A, his parents did not, like the friends that I was going to spend the night over at, and I was like 4 or 5, they did not want to give me a shot. And I'm like, come on, just do it. And I'd like open up my arm and be like, come on, stick the needle in there. And I'd just like smile at them and be like, do it now. And then they'd be like, no. And they'd like freak out, and then I'd show them how to poke my finger, which is like a little needle. And it got to the point where I'd like poke my stomach and watch it bleed and ooze, and I'd be like, look at it. And they'd be like, ew. And I would laugh. I was a funny and stubborn child. But yeah. So most of the time, I had to have them spend the night at my house. And then the second reason was this thing called Lantis, which every morning, every time in the morning,
Contact with weapon.
7 o'clock, I had to get a needle shoved in my butt cheek. Yes, I said in my butt cheek. And when I was that young, yes, it hurt like hell. It was only like a 2-inch needle, but yeah, it still hurt. And it's like a long-lasting or a long-term insulin shot that produces it slowly. So like it moves very slow throughout the day. And then while I still make adjustments for like food and pop. So that was another reason. And then, gosh, when I was about 5, my best friend, still, almost to this day, moved in, and I actually didn't meet him right away. My neighbor showed me him, and I'm like, oh, what's up? And his name ended up being Gabe. Okay, me and Gabe are still pretty good friends now, even though he's a year older than me. He's in 9th grade, I'm in 8th, and we are still pretty good friends. I mean, and I'm pretty good friends with his friends, and his friends are pretty good friends with mine. And yeah, and he had this tree in his house, in his yard, which is just the perfect tree for climbing. And we were actually thinking about building a tree house when we were little. Like, we'd take up those little lawn chairs and put them up there, and we'd get yelled at for it. And yeah, and in the winter, we'd climb in it, and we'd jump off into the snowbank thing. So we'd build a snowbank there. Well, one winter, my friend Gabe, we forgot to build a snowbank, okay? No, we were working on it. We were pushing all the snow off the tree so we wouldn't slip and it wouldn't turn into ice, because it was like the first snowfall. And my friend Gabe starts a snowball fight with our neighbor, who was like 28 at the time. And my neighbor ends up going inside. And this is from his yard, from his backyard door, all the way to my friend's backyard, which was about, I want to say, like 300 feet, or no, not 300, probably like 160 feet. And he just let it sling. What ended up hitting my friend Gabe in the face and knocking him out. And he fell to the ground. Boom! Face first onto a tree. He split the tree with his chin, and he broke his chin. And I was in so much shock, and we were like 12 feet up. I just jumped off, and I almost ended up breaking my toes because I was in bare feet. I was just barefoot. I jumped off. I'm like, oh my God, Gabe! Oh my God, are you all right? He turns up and he's like, just go get my dad. And this kid wasn't even crying. I think he was in like shock or something. I was like, start running, I get his dad, and they take him to the hospital. And turns out he broke his chin. So my neighbor feels so bad. He goes over there, buys him a gift, and he just feels so bad. And he actually offered to pay for the medical bill, and my friend's dad was like, no, we can do that. Sorry. Knew it was an accident. And yeah, that was like the scariest moment of my life for my friend. The scariest moment of my life was when I was like, I want to say 8. And I was tubing, okay? And I used to love the tube. And my grandpa was actually pulling the tube so fast, it got caught. Like, you know, like when tubes go underwater, got caught. Well, the rope, like, he took off at such a speed, and we went underwater, or I went underwater, and the rope got caught. No, the rope didn't get caught. The rope got wrapped around the tube, and it, like, snapped. The rope snapped. Okay, and I was just standing there, and I was slowly drifting one way. Well, then a jet ski goes by, like 100 miles an hour, and it tips my tube. And I was only wearing a life jacket, a little bit, like, too small, and I didn't know how to swim at the time, and I was like, oh my gosh, help me, help me. I was like faking to drown, and then I finally realized that I was able to grab onto it, and I was like scared shitless. And that was the scariest moment of my life so far. I ended up getting back on the boat, and I ended up going tubing again like 2 hours. So yeah, my life isn't very scary. I haven't had very many scary moments in my life. Ooh, well, there was one that happened recently. So I got into this whole BMX craze thing, and I went up, I jumped, and I tried to do a bar spin fakie. Yeah, bar spin to a fakie.
Explosives, back it up!
And it split between my legs, the bars did, and I bruised my testicles. It kind of hurt. Well, I didn't bruise my testicles, but like yeah, that area was bruised. Let's put it at that. And yeah, it kind of hurt. I didn't want to say kind of hurt. It fucking hurt. And yeah, so that's what I stopped riding BMXing for a while, and then got into it again after, which I'm not into it. Friend split open his sack. Yeah, he was wearing sweats, and his yeah, it got caught on the brakes.
Friendly hunter killer drone deployed.
Got out of that phase around like 10 years old. Now 11 rolls around, and I'm just going into middle school, and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. Our school does this thing called activity night, and I'm going to like every single one, partying it up. So I thought, what you would call partying it up. You're a kid, partying up and shit like that, drinking pop like it's no deal, going home, playing games till 3 in the morning. And then 6th grade ends, okay, and we go to baseball, and baseball was a hella dope, and it was fun as hell. And then 7th grade rolls around, and that's when things started to get.
Transitioning.
Like, I had friends of friends, like, my friend would be friends with this one kid, and one of my friend's friends actually got into this whole dope thing, and I ended up just shadow casting him. He used to hang up with him, and that kid ended up moving because he had no friends. But he left his dope trail behind, and I do not get anywhere near those people. And those people are like all the skaters, but yeah, I'm not a skater. I am a jock mixed with a tech geek, so kind of two opposites. And it takes me a lot to hate someone, so I'm kind of a happy-go-lucky person. So yeah, end of 7th grade rolls around, and my best friend, or one of my best friends at the time, ends up moving in to a house next to me with a pool. Okay, and oh shit, no, 6th grade, my parents got divorced. Okay, and my mom moved in with her boyfriend at the time because she didn't have enough money on her own to pay for a townhouse. And I am going to stop there, and I'll resume this in the next video, okay? And I stopped at 6th grade. Okay, and peace. Sterny out.